Okay, another one of the parameters that we measure is turbidity, or how cloudy the water is. And currently, Halls Mill Creek, which is the major contributor of fresh water to Dog River, is on what's called ADM's 303D list for turbidity. 303D list, this basically is saying that this stream has a problem. And it has a problem with being, that water looks like chocolate milk after a rain. After the rains 2 or 3 days past it, it starts to clear back up again. But whenever we rain, the water in Halls Mill Creek looks like this. So is it getting better or is it getting worse? Our monitors measure turbidity. If the water's deep enough, they can use a Secchi disc to measure turbidity. A Secchi disc is just a pattern disc like this that you lower down into the water until you can't see it anymore. And then you record the depth that the Secchi disc goes to. So the deeper it goes, and you can still see it, the clearer the water is. And the less deep it goes, the more turbid the water is. So some of our monitors use Secchi discs. And this is Secchi depth. This is Halls Mill Creek. And this shows over time. Now, this only starts in January, or starts in somewhere in 2019, about in the middle. And it shows a slowly decreasing trend, meaning that the Secchi depth is getting less and less, i.e. the water is getting more turbid. Now, monitors monitor once a month. They don't go out after a rainfall and just measure after a rainfall. So this is really giving you an idea that over time, Halls Mill is not getting better, but is it instead is probably having even more turbidity problems. That's something that ADM is supposed to address eventually, but they only address it through permitting. So permitting, you would have to be looking at the city's stormwater permit, because stormwater is what's raising the turbidity. As that stormwater comes in from the ditches that are leaving construction sites, they flow right straight into Halls Mill Creek, and it causes issues all the way downstream. If we compare Halls Mill Creek, though, to Dog River itself, there are two sites. This is the same one on Halls Mill Creek, and this is Dog River at Eric Holliday's Pier. Again, that's right by the River Yacht Basin. And what you see here is, even though Dog River is, this is the high quality, and even though Halls Mill is on the 303D list, it still is usually, the Secchi depth is higher. Usually Halls Mill is clearer than Dog River, which I think is kind of funny. Mm-hmm. On the 303D list, and Dog River is not on the 303D list. But it's got to do with the fact that that turbidity is so extreme during storm events, and it does not reflect it over here. So I don't know. This is a hard problem to solve, I believe. The best thing here is construction management, better best management practices, less exposed soil, those things that we've dealt with for years and years and years that just don't seem to ever get implemented well enough, But that's where turbidity stands. So any questions about turbidity? I think somebody had some about Moore Creek.
Well, I guess, yeah, my first comment before the question would be, I guess that again is why DRCR values the preservation of those priority wetland parcels so much. I mean, that's the one thing, especially for Halls Mill Creek, that could really help with turbidity, right?
It really does, Morgan. It's amazing. If you look at a map of Halls Mill Creek, what you see is that the property that was acquired, the 300 acres that were acquired, are all wetlands, forested wetlands, which are wonderful. But upstream from that is also other preserved sections, not by us and not with conservation easements on them, but it would be something to pursue. The city owns a large tract. The school board owns a large tract. Moz has easements along some of the tributary streams for their sewer lines, and those are forested. So Halls Mill has a lot of forested area along its riparian zones. A lot of that is still forested. And what you see is that after a rainfall event, that water clears up really fast. I mean, within 2 days, I can paddle upstream from my house, and when I get into the muddy water, it's coming downstream. And then as I go farther upstream, all of a sudden it clears up because what's coming in is clear. It's just that pulse for the heavy rain is just so bad.
And then I guess my question on Moore Creek that came from one of our members was, you know, with the rate of development and the new things happening in the area, like the new golf course that's being, you know, constructed right now, will that, I know we have a monitor right there downstream from the construction, will that have an effect on water quality and turbidity? And what do you think about the future maintenance and fertilizers and such involved in that project? Is that something we should be very concerned with?
I think right now it's a disaster. The monitor there is new, but so far her data is it's incredibly turbid. There's so much area that's exposed with no grass and very little control on it at all. I mean, there's nothing even along the stream sides. They cleared all the trees. Mother Nature has a way of fixing things, and she will eventually. And once it's all done, it probably won't be so bad because golf courses have improved their fertilizer management tremendously over the past 20 years. So I feel like that's something that we probably don't need to worry about. But right now, I wish there was a way to improve it, but I don't see anything that they can do to make it better. Not with how much land they've cleared, and it's just sitting there open, and then the rain keeps coming and they can't finish because it keeps raining them out. It's a problem. We do have the monitor downstream. We've lost the monitor upstream. So if we have an opportunity to recruit a monitor for Mont-Lamar Canal there at Azalea, we need to do that. We do not currently have anybody there. So it's important to know what's coming into an area before you're accusing everybody, well, for what's coming out of it.
And it sounds like, you know, with all of this that, you know, living shorelines would certainly improve turbidity just in, you know, fact of what they are.
They totally
armored.
You know, just leaving that vegetation. I mean, if you can just leave like 50 feet of vegetation around any kind of riparian area, that helps a whole lot with filtering out that sediment.